Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here. I'm going to be doing a collective reading. Happy fucking New Year. Since the sun has gone into Aries as of today, and I'm looking forward to it feeling like an actual new year because the new year in January never feels like a new year. Anyway, I should have done this before I started the video. We're good. Okay, I just got out of the shower. Pardon me. I feel nice. And I figured it was a good time to do a reading. If you are interested in a personal reading, astrology or tarot, my information is down below. I got a new camera. It's kind of pissing me off because it follows me, which is really nice of it. However, I move around a lot. This may or may not resonate with you. If it doesn't, that's quite all right. You might come back some other time. You might try one of my other readings. I'm doing this reading on March 20th. And whenever I do readings, they are timeless. So whenever you stumble upon it. However, yeah, so you might, if this one isn't for you, maybe go look at another one or maybe move on. I will not say subscribe because if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. I used to be good at marketing, but I don't market here, if that makes sense. Four of Swords, quiet time. That's meditation, prayer, solitude, quieting the mind. Death, rebirth. So we've got prayer, solitude, quiet time, meditation, quieting the mind, making peace with the past, reflection, contemplation, and the challenge card or the crossing card for that is the death card. That's the way I place them. I love how in this deck it's a death rebirth, and look, it's like the Grim Reaper, but there's a new beginning on the other side. So when we're looking at this, maybe we're just not quiet right now because things are dying, things are leaving, things that aren't meant to be with us are going away. Maybe we're not ready for a fresh start. It's kind of interesting because the sun did move into Aries today, which is the beginning of the Zodiacal new year. So we are making a fresh start, which always means that things are ending. We're going to look at what's in the subconscious. What do we not know? Queen of Pentacles. In the subconscious, we want to feel good. We want to be taken care of. The Queen of Pentacles, she's holding a coin. We want to have money. We want to have wealth. We want to have abundance. That is a drive. Like, I'm a big believer in, how do I sum this up? Like, super short, but we came here to enjoy ourselves, right? When I say here, I mean to earth. Like, we came here to enjoy things financially. And when like growing up, we would hear things like money is the root of all evil. And I love the fact that the number 6 is the number of wealth and abundance. And in the Bible, 666 is considered the number of the devil. Well, if you think about it, religions and people in power don't want the people that they're ruling over to have power. And so they made the number 666 evil. And actually, like when I see a 666, it's like things are manifesting, it's about material wealth, material gain, financial abundance. So I always think, I always love that story, like that they made that number evil because they knew about numerology, and they wanted you in confession telling them your sins and paying them money to make it go away, all that bullshit. But in our subconscious, it's like we have this quiet, this solitude, things are ending, things are leaving. We just want to fucking feel good, man. Like we just want to feel provided for, taken care of. It's in the recent past. 6 of Swords. It's moving, that's healing. Moving from troubled water into calmer water. Like we're still, the pain of the past, things that have happened, ways that we've been hurt, they're not going to go away. The memories aren't going to go away, but it's like, we're like, all right, so that happened. Where am I going? Where am I moving to? I want to move beyond that. And maybe we kind of started and tried, but there are some things that we still haven't quite let go of. So we don't have this peace of mind just yet. Right? What is known? What do we know about where we're going? That's really funny. The devil. We know what the devil is, being stuck. The devil is 3D. The devil doesn't have to be a negative card. I always say that. I mean, like I was just saying, usually when I pull the devil card, people go, oh, fuck. I'm like, no, the devil card represents enjoying the earth. Like think of the god Pan is really like pleasure and physical pleasure. Yeah, gosh. Okay, so I think it's kind of funny how I'll be like fuck and then gosh in basically the same sentence, but I do that. In our subconscious is the queen of pentacles. Oh my goodness, this is like in our shadow. We just want to feel good. Like maybe it's money that we want to have, maybe it's a relationship that we want to have, maybe it's some idealistic view, but something that we really really want. But it's in our subconscious, so we may not be aware of it, we may not be recognizing it. The Queen of Pentacles is also like taking care of herself, but what we know is the devil, like maybe we feel guilty about the things that we want. It could also be that we're dealing with things that we are like addicted to, whether they're patterns or like literal drugs or alcohol, or what do we escape into? Like we might be have a heightened awareness of like what we're stuck to and what needs to let go. So we don't have peace of mind because we might be hiding from our real wants or trying to bury them. So they're coming out as like shadow addictive patterns, like where we get our needs met in the devil can be manipulative, or being coy about getting what it is that we want, or manipulating others, or being manipulated or attached to situations that we know are not good for us. When really what we're trying to do is to move forward from our past, but like maybe we're still bringing things with us that we shouldn't. See, like, I love how in this one he's like holding, the marionette strings. Like, we might feel like we're still trying to gain that. She knows her worth. Like the Queen of Pentacles knows her worth. Maybe we are still seeking approval. Maybe we want others to like us. Where are we going? The Wheel of Fortune. That's divine intervention. The wheel's turning. It's fate. We don't know. Things are just spinning and spinning. What is working for you? I said this in my most recent reading, but like, what is really flowing? Run with that. Like run with the things that are working for you. Whatever is kind of clogged or not quite moving, give it time to shift, because a lot of people are shifting right now. A lot of things are changing. This devil energy, that's 3D, that's material reality also. So it's the fucking matrix. We're kind of stuck in the matrix. All right. An advice card. What is the advice? Getting a lot of major arcana here. Judgment. Look at this. Look at these two in comparison. Like, this is the advice. Release judgment of yourself, of others. I love, like, look at this as compared to that. Move forward without judging yourself, without judging others. The devil could be shame, it could be guilt, it could be maybe we're being manipulated via shame. Like maybe we feel inadequate, and at the whole subconscious of this reading is the Queen of Pentacles, who knows her worth. There's something about that. Like, it doesn't matter how much you fucked up in the past, or it doesn't matter, what you've done imperfectly, or the short-sightedness. Like, we have to start from a point and move forward. Like, I talk a lot about when I was in rehab, but it's like, and this is still an ongoing exercise for me. Like it's never done. It's like it gets to levels, but or it's a spiraling staircase. But I remember at one point sharing the thing that I felt most ashamed of. It was a big deal, like such a big deal. I wanted to kill myself over this. Like, it was a really big deal. And I shared it in a room. I think everybody should go to rehab. I really do. But there's just something really beautiful about it. I mean, I'm glad if you don't have to, but I think everyone should do something like rehab. But anyway, after I shared it, it was like really heavy. And I literally kind of felt like this girl. Like, I thought the thing that I shared was this horrible, horrible thing, and then afterwards, I remember I was like, okay, there it is. And one girl started to snicker. and then we all sort of kind of started giggling. They were like, yo, you were gonna kill yourself over that shit. I'm like, yeah, what was I thinking? Um, but releasing judgment of other people and ourselves. And when we judge others harshly, it's because it's really judgments that we have against us. Like if, you are judging someone for, I'm trying to think of an example of what I do. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, what a show off. I don't do it so much anymore. I used to do this all the time. And the reason that I judge other people for being show offs or, doing the most or whatever to get attention is because sometimes I do that too. And where that comes from is childhood. And I was the oldest of four kids and I kind of had to just behave. And, when you have four kids, you don't get like a whole lot of attention, and it was better if I got good grades and like didn't draw attention to myself, so as I got older, um that's part of why I think I like to do YouTube and I like to do stuff like that, because I do like having attention, right? Because the way I grew up, I didn't have a whole lot of attention. I don't know. I don't even think my family watches this. You guys are fucking amazing. Like everybody has shit from childhood that wasn't perfect. But I felt guilty about wanting attention, so I would see it in other people and judge them for it, but that's really a judgment of me. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here is like, what do you feel guilty about? Like, even when I'm doing these videos, I know that like I know that they are watched by people who might be like, oh, fuck her. Like she, it's like it's mirrory out there, guys. Like it's, there's a little part of me that sometimes in the back of my mind is narrating other people's reactions who I know don't like me, and this is something that is an ongoing process for me to like to just not care about that, but not to like throw the hate back, if that makes sense. Um, I don't know. We're really, really getting into some of this deep healing shit, like really looking at our own darkness because we can't hide it anymore. God, that sounded really whiny, but it's like we've got to stop projecting our darkness onto other people, although that is the way that we ultimately end up finding it in ourselves. But this is what we're working on. This is the advice. When I don't like somebody or something, I go, okay, where does that live in me? Where does that live in me? Because there's a reason that I'm being shown it here. All right. How others view us or what the people in the environment are doing. Hierophant. This is the God card. So the Hierophant. Go away. Something on my screen. This is the God card. This is societal norms. Everybody, we are ascending. Everyone in the environment is climbing up the stairs. And how are we doing that? Intentionally, or we're all moving upwards. Is it intentional? Or do we have to kind of go through, there's this death rebirth, and that's what's blocking this peace of mind that we have here. So the Hierophant, the higher and lower aspects, like I said, it's the God card. Hey, are you drunk? Are you stoned? Yeah, there we go. All right, we're back. With the Hierophant, it's societal norms. So it can be social pressure, but it is the card of, The high priestess is the goddess card. That's where we go within, we find our own answers. We follow our intuition. We connect with, like, the darkness in the womb. The God card is where we seek wisdom outside of ourselves. So the high priestess is seeking wisdom within. The Hierophant is seeking wisdom without, and there's utility in both of those. It's like religion kind of co-opted got the God aspect where, we tell you what is what. Just that only seeking wisdom without, and God is outside of us and all of that, spirit. And that's where the goddess kind of disappeared, but really there's a balance. It's like sometimes I need to check this, like with others, or reading a text, I mean, like a book or something like that, gaining wisdom from others, really like bouncing your internal off of another person who can give you like loving feedback, or who can hold space for that so that you can kind of hear what's going on. That especially when it comes to this, where we're coming from, processing past pain. But with the Hierophant, we can be getting, this is kind of along the lines of that judgment. Like maybe people are like, you're not doing things the right way. But it's really about doing things your way and connecting to God, spirit, the divine source, whatever you call it. So hopes and fears, whatever feels best for you. And this is earth energy. So also what works in the world, the Queen of Pentacles connects with others. She's also very nurturing, because she takes good care of herself and she's able to do that. Hopes and fears. All right, so ready, the Tower card. That's also a divine intervention. We might be really clinging to whatever it is that we have, and if we are, that's okay. It's like let go or be dragged. You might be dragged until you have to let go, because, and this is the hopes and fears. It's like if you really, really deep down know that you're losing your grip on something, divine intervention is going to make it happen. And so it's like, if you have a fear in the back of your mind, God is going to present you with that fear, so that you can move forward fearless. God, I'm sharing like a lot of details, but I was always afraid when I bought a house. I was always afraid of losing my house for some reason. And it was so fucking weird because once I had my house, it just flooded one day, and there had been a something wasn't plumbed right. I just like to say plumbed, but something wasn't plumbed right, and it was like, I mean, it was a big deal of a flood. Like the kids and I were displaced for 6 weeks, and I'm like, yo, I was always afraid of that. And for some reason, the house had been built 3 or 4 years prior, and this wrongly plumbed part had worked for that long. And then I move in, and fucking boom, it breaks and floods my whole house on a night when I happen to be sleeping at Zeke's. It was in 2016 that happened. And I had always been afraid of it. And it was like, once it happened, I'm like, oh, okay. I still have a little PTSD. Like whenever I leave here, I have to check things multiple times because I don't know. Anyway, but it's just interesting how we are, or repeated patterns in relationships will come up over and over again. But the Tower is divine intervention. It's what we're hopeful of and fearful of. And we are going to be shown, this does feel pretty specific to 2023. If we are afraid of something, it may or it might happen. because we are learning this year that we are divine beings and that there isn't a need to be afraid, but especially we don't want to create out of fear. All right, let's get like the outcome. The Hanged Man. So with the Hanged Man card, it's like we're upside down. Are we gonna fight where we are? Yo, these are major cards. Like the major arcana has 22 cards, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I only pulled 10 cards right here. Like we are about to move into some really big, like, in the tarot, the pentacles and the cups and the swords and the wands all represent like smaller parts of our journey, like bits and pieces, smaller lessons. But the major arcana are like big life lessons, like life altering shit. And this is going to be a big year for that. So with the Hanged Man, she is upside down, and when we're upside down, like in the other tarot deck, he's kind of hanging by one foot and he's upside down, but there's also the halo, which represents enlightenment. He is no longer fighting. In this one, she is not fighting being upside down. Instead, there is a patience and a peace about it. In fact, it really kind of makes me think of this card, looking at this is about meditation, prayer, solitude, quieting the mind, finding a peace of mind, healing from the past. And the crossing card being this death rebirth, we might really have to let some stuff go in order to bring that peace of mind. And the outcome will be that we'll have a new perspective. There'll be a perspective shift. Let me look at all these. I'm gonna pull an oracle. All right. I don't usually do these, but we're gonna do them. This is I have to read the book. The Starseed Oracle. It's okay to feel good. Find the guilt and shame that you have. Share it with someone, release that judgment of yourself. It's okay. It's like in our shadow, we sometimes hide good things too. But every time you judge someone else, just take note of that. And be like, where does that live? Does that live in me? Where does that, do I have a piece of that? Or do I wish I was more like that? Or, but I feel like if you don't let go of things, that's okay because they're going to be gotten rid of for you. that's that's the gist of this reading. Like, you're welcome to cling, but some shit's gonna move whether you want it to or not, and it's all for your ultimate enlightenment. Okay, so literally hang in there. That's the culmination. We have you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. That's really cool. Let me read this. Okay, let's see. The world is filled with people who No matter what you do, just won't like you, but it's also filled with those who'll love you fiercely. They are your people. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince others of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs. That's really making me think of her. And will likely inflict unnecessary wounds that will take precious time to heal. You're not for them and they're not for you. Politely wave them on and continue on your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. Pulling this card means you're being called to embrace your uniqueness, to own your weirdness, to let the world see who you really are, to reveal your multifaceted, multidimensional nature, not to dim your light according to who is in your presence, to own all parts of yourself so that your people, the ones who are the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when your paths cross. Yes, like this is being who you are, like letting go of these attachments to the of feeling stuck, of feeling controlled by other people. Like I was saying with sometimes I hesitate to say things because I'm like somebody won't like this, or somebody could argue that, or somebody who knew me like at another time might have this to say about that. That's a real thing when you're doing YouTube videos. I kind of got used to it back in the day when I was blogging. It's like, I miss blogging, but like writing things and putting it out there. It's like there it is. And then you grow and like that's still out there. I want to do advice. But yeah, like own who you are. Know your worth. Stop judging your shit. Find somebody else who's your kind of weird, and maybe unload some of the things that you carry, some of the shame and the guilt. I really feel like that is what's holding us back, because that's how the devil card is able to get to us. Like maybe we even feel shame and guilt about like pleasure, or seeking pleasure, or seeking what feels good to us. But it's okay to want what you want. Justice. Just be fair. I'm gonna make this fucking thing focus. Doesn't like this one. All right. All right, fine. So justice card. The justice card is karma. It's also integrity. A lot of times when people see the justice card, they're like, yeah, but we have to be mindful that we're not always acting at our highest. No, nobody is. It's impossible. So you have to remember that sometimes shit's going to come back at you too. I feel like that's going to happen quicker and quicker, like if we are not in our integrity. We're learning, we are ascending. Yes, I'm a weirdo. I believe that we are all spiritually ascending. And so if you do some shady shit, like it's going to fly back up at you pretty quick. I feel like this happens when you're on the spiritual path, and um the universe stops giving you like a newbie pass, because sometimes I'll be like, whoa, I just did that really quick. um and that's advice to remember to stay in your integrity. And that there could be karmic shit coming around. Like, who knows? If things are rough, like just handle it. Just handle it. And do one more for advice. 4 of Wands. We're going home. This is a spiritual homecoming. It's also I love how there's like 1111 on there. Wands, fire. This is like hitting a milestone, really feeling at home. It could be a new home, but I think of it as like spiritually coming home to ourselves, which we get to do again and again and again because we're never done with this stuff. Anyway, I've got to get going. I hope you have a great day on earth. Thank you for stopping by. Peace. Namaste.